Hey, I'm Taylor, and I am a mom of 3 kids. I'm actually at my parents' house right now visiting for the weekend, and my family, we've been on quite a journey. We've lived in 4 places this year, and my husband and I are starting school again, and with 3 little kids. I mean, our oldest is 6. And we are a neurodivergent family, so we have some unique challenges that way. And we are learning how to dream again. We are learning how to let God open up the doors and walk through the doors instead of shutting them, right? We're learning how to do all of that. And we're learning how to do it with kids. And we just want to teach our kids how to dream, how to get their heads up in the clouds and allow God to make it happen. We hear so many times, like, get your head out of the clouds. Well, why? God lives up in the clouds. My husband and I are kind of tired of people just being like, oh, well, you can't do that, or like, that's not possible. Well, who's to say it's not? So you guys get to be part of this with us. For a long time, probably the last 2 years, I have felt like I needed to share my journey, and I didn't want to. And then as we left a family business and as we're driving to our new location, we had to drive for about 2 days, and I just had this thought, like, you should record this and you should do this. And I was scared. I didn't want to. I've had a lot of backlash from people just in our personal lives, and I didn't want to. I was like, no, this is really special for me. But now I feel that nudge again to share our journey and to share what we're doing. So here we are. I don't know what to share all the time. I'm not sure what it's going to look like. I'm not sure exactly what it's going to be, but I know that we get to witness God's hand and what He's doing. And I just want to help you guys feel hope again and feel like, you know what? If you're a mom, go do it. If you're a dad who's feeling stuck, figure out why you feel stuck and figure out why, like, what you really want to do. You can do it. So my kids found batteries for a really loud toy. Luckily, we're outside. So, you guys can do it. You can do all things through Christ. And there's hope. There's hope. We know that. And that's one of those things where when you don't feel it and you hear people say, like, oh, there's always hope. And then you're like, well, yeah, where? It doesn't feel like it. And that's okay. It's okay to not feel it right now. And it's okay to feel upset. And it's okay to feel angry. And it's okay to feel like nothing is working out, right? It's okay to feel that way. It is okay. It's what you do with those feelings that's what matters the most. If you're going to let that anger just build resentment and keep you from becoming yourself, that's not good. But if you're going to let that anger drive you, to push you to do something about it, that's good right there, right? If you feel hopeless, it's okay. But if you're feeling hopeless and you're feeling stuck and you allow yourself to stay stuck and say, like, there's no hope for me, and you use that as an excuse to not try, that's not good. Not at all. But if you use that hopeless feeling, you're like, you know what? I do not want to feel like this anymore. Absolutely not. I do not want to. Then use that to go figure something out. We all have the ability to choose. We all have the ability to do things in our lives that will either help us or hinder us. And if we do, or when we do something that hinders us, Christ is there, and we have to choose to do something about it. Like, that's why we have our agency, right? So, my husband and I for years I felt hopeless for a long time, just from the past experiences that I've had, right? And I tried for years and years to figure out, like, what the heck is going on? Why am I feeling this way? What can I do about it? And there was times where I didn't want to keep going. I just wanted to stop. There was times where I just was like, this is enough. I'm tired. I don't want to do this anymore. And I got to my breaking point. I didn't know what else to do. I had no idea what to do. And God gave us a friend who knew what to do. And she led us in the right direction of learning about God's character, right? Now that, to be whole and complete does not mean you have to be perfect, right? I was doing things physically to help myself. I was doing things what I thought were helping myself spiritually, like reading my scriptures, going to church, praying, like the usual, right? But I kept a lot of old ideas about myself. And my friend taught us differently and taught me differently. And I started to feel hope again. And it's been wild to think about the last 2 years since I started feeling that hope again. To like see how that hope has blossomed from like a little tiny flower into a whole garden of possibilities. A whole garden. Like it's been wonderful and terrifying at the same time. It has been scary. There's been some really hard things. One of the hard things was not having support from people who said that they supported you, because it wasn't their idea. And having a lot of fake drama and all this stuff. And I am not a fake person, you guys. I hate it. I hate fakeness. I love authenticity. We lived in a place just barely where the people, I loved it there because the people either really hated you and you knew it, or they really liked you and you knew it. There was no guessing. And social media, I find that when I am on social media, I start to feel crappy, right? So I just have stopped. I've stopped being on there as much. And it comes and goes. Sometimes I'm on there more, sometimes I'm not. But there's so much fakeness, you guys. So much. And it's everywhere. It's in our, I mean, it's all over social media. I mean, it's just a fake place. Usually. Not all the time, but usually. And the people that we're around, it can be in families, it can be in our neighborhoods. It's just everywhere. And I have made the decision to not be fake, right? So I'm going to share all of the things. You're going to see my kids. As you can see, I'm walking around a lot, and it's like terrible video. I know that. But that's how I work, right? I'm not going to try and sit there and be all perfect and proper. Because I'm learning to find myself again because of that hope. That garden that I was talking about, that's part of this. And it's been wonderful. And it's been so cool to watch my husband too. Because for years, he just did what he thought he was supposed to do, right? Like we all do. And he never allowed himself to really dream. So when he started to dream and started saying, you know what, I don't want to keep working here. I don't want to keep selling tires for another 30 years. Which was a big deal because this was part of a business that we were he was a part owner, not we. Let me correct that. He was a part owner. I supported him in it, right? And it was a big deal to be like, you know, I don't want to do this for another 30 years. I don't. And I was like, okay, well, what do you want to do? And, you know, we went to God about it, and God was like, you know, put your head up in the clouds, you guys. So we did. Gavin wants to go back to school to do something in psychology. He's trying to decide if he wants to become an athletic psychologist or do organizational psychology. He's not sure yet. And I was like, great, this is so good. We'll do, like, let's do this. Let's get you doing what you will fill your cup. And then God said, no, you need to go back to school too. And I was like, oh, okay, for what? I don't know. And guys, I looked for a long time what to do. And I finally decided family relations. I don't know. You know, I forgot about my dreams that I had. Okay. And I didn't think they were possible. And this was just a year ago. Okay. So not even a year actually. Anyways, so we were praying about it, pondering, and I finally found through a series of events an equine science and management degree, which is perfect with what our dream is. Our dream is to have a ranch, you guys. We want to have a ranch again. Well, not again. I grew up with horses. I've always wanted a ranch. The dream was originally to have horses again. And then the other day I was like, no, it's not just to have horses, and it's not to have a homestead. Homesteading is great, you guys. But that's not really what I wanted. That felt like 85% right. But it wasn't 100% right. And God put into my mind a ranch. And I was like, oh yeah, like I forgot about this, which is actually really sad that I forgot about the dream that I've had since I was a child. But my head is back up in the clouds. I know that the Lord is going to provide. And that sounds really cliche. Oh, look at this. Got like a thing going on. Totally cliche. I know. But there's a reason why it's cliche. There's a reason why it's in the scriptures. You know, there's a scripture that says, the Lord is bound when you do what I say, but when you do not what I say, you have no promise. And I know that sounds kind of like, you know, when you keep the commandments and you do those things, the Lord is going to promise you the blessings that he wants to give you, which is so true. But it's also following his will for you. And you can't feel his will if you're feeling hopeless. You can't feel his will if you're feeling so angry all the time or upset. We've got to learn how to manage our emotions and think through our emotions and understand what's going on inside of our bodies. Because when we can do that, then the Lord could be like nudging you and saying, hey, like, let's think about, do you remember when this happened? Or do you remember when you felt this way? Do you remember when you had this dream? And that's what's been happening for my husband and I. It's been really cool. I keep saying and I'm sorry. I need to get better at that. I'm going to reemphasize again. Use your feelings for good. Ask yourself, why am I feeling angry? Why am I feeling hopeless? And just start there. And if you don't know, talk to someone who can. I mean, you can even use chat. Like ChatGPT is great. I use caution. Use caution with it though, because it's not a real person. It's just numbers. But numbers are really good at analysis, like giving analysis. And I've used it to help me understand my thinking patterns and stuff. And it's really helped me. So figure out why. Figure out your why of why you're feeling you are. And go from there. Okay, there's hope. And you guys get to watch this and see all the things that we get to do. And all the things that we have to do that we don't want to do. And the Lord is there. He is there. He opens the doors and we have to walk through them. And my husband and I have actively made the choice to walk through them. And I know you guys can too. So if you have any comments you want to share, or if you just want to be seen or heard, you can just comment below. And, you know, we'll get through this. It's going to be wonderful.